Hi, and welcome to Finest Design. In this episode, I will talk to you about the birth of aesthetic medicine. It all came from botulinum toxin, a neurotoxin from a little microbe that have transformed the appearance of humanity throughout the last few decades. Historically, when we started using botulinum toxin to reduce the activity of facial muscles and reduce wrinkles, we often used insulin syringes like that. And as you can imagine, when we try to inject, we have to balance not only the tip of the needle, but also we have to look at the gradients and control how much we are injecting, because unfortunately, too little means unhappy patients with the outcome, too much might be unhappy patients with the side effects. We have evolved, and now we are using robotics in order to deliver precise doses and be absolutely accurate. The green options are not only confined to botulinum toxin. Now we have limitless of options that are available to help patients' facial appearance without the downtime. In the surface, botulinum toxin is one of the most important aspects to reduce the wrinkles. For pigmentation and for vascular problems and some smoothing of the skin, we have to consider something like superficial peels. In the volume, the ubiquitous soft tissue fillers has been used, sometimes abused, in relation of reducing the volume loss and improving the contour of the face. Finally, in relation of the laxity, we have energy-based devices that will lead to contraction of the collagen without the downtime in a non-invasive way. In this episode, we are going to explore options related to this green cluster of options. So the advantage of using the state-of-the-art technology in dealing with not only the surgical interventions, but also the amber, which are the technology-based and energy-based devices, and also the green, even simple procedures such as botulinum toxin injections, I prefer to use the robotic method to fine-tune the harmony of the face. So we are starting here, and in this case, we are not going to use any EMLA cream because we are using a very, very tiny dose and very, very small, almost invisible needle. You could see these tiny little bumps that are created by the volume, and eventually they will disappear within few minutes or so. So how was that? On a scale of 10, 0 being absolutely no pain, 10 being a really unpleasant experience, where would you put that?
Almost 3, 4 maximum.
3, 4. Tolerable?
Yes, tolerable.
Very good. So as you could see, some patients' pain threshold is quite high. They're able to withstand all these different injections without any numbing of the skin. And some patients, they don't like that 3 to 4 feeling, and for them we will apply some numbing cream on the face around 15 to 20 minutes before the procedure, which will take that discomfort way down. And here we are with Dr. Adriano Santorelli from Napoli and Rome, Italy. In this episode, we will explore non-invasive, what we would call the green options, in relation to reversal of our aging signs. Dr. Adriano, thank you very much for joining Finest Design.
Hi Ali, thank you for the invitation.
Dr. Adriano, we know that the aging signs will affect every one of us, and sometimes even without aging, our facial appearance impact our feelings and invite us to do something about it. The first option is non-invasive options. You are a plastic surgeon who is able to do surgery and laser and non-invasive interventions. Why do you choose to engage with non-invasive interventions?
Okay, I think that the world is changing in the last 10 years. Until 10 years ago, we had only 3-4 fillers for every part of the face. For this, every big brand, they have the fillers with the same characteristic. Now, the development of the technology of the fillers are very, very great. For this, we have fillers for the lips, for the nose, for the cheekbone. We have fillers to enhance the maxilla. We can treat every part of the face. For this, there are some patients that they don't need to come to surgeries because they can steps in the years try to delay the surgeries. With this not invasive approach, we can taste the patients until she is or he is ready to get under surgery.
Amazing. And you know, as a key opinion leader to many of these industries in non-invasive approach, do you think these are simple procedures that people can take such lightly?
This is a big problem because as we have an increase of the technology, we have a different technique. For example, the fillers until 10 years ago we used it only for the dermal. Now we use it for the bone, for example. But into the deep, in the bone, in the muscle, we have vessels, we have nerves. For this, now we can have some great complication after these procedures. And the problem is that many colleagues simplify these procedures on some social media, but is not party, is not for fun, are very important procedures. For this is very important the post-care of these patients. And I am totally in contrast with to simplify this kind of message. For this is very important to treat the patient and the follow-up, the touch-up, not like surgery obviously, but however there are some complications that we must recognize and we must solve for these patients.
So this brings again an important aspect. We're very lucky here in Bahrain that the regulators have restricted the usage of these tools to specialists and board-certified dermatologists, plastic surgeons, ENT surgeons, and not any healthcare professional such as other parts of the world. What is your advice in relation of our public when they consider such non-invasive interventions?
I think that is very important for the doctors to have a percourse in the years that step by step from basic to advanced we can have good skills to solve, not only to give the best result, but give the best result in safety. This is very, very, very important. For this is very important in Bahrain. There is a hard regulatory about this. In Europe, not always is so restricted. For this, we have some brands that with the fillers or threads not so well studied.
For me, I think the safety of these things are really important. I'm very grateful to you to mention education and training to avoid these complications. My last question, what is in the future? What are the most recent advances in this field?
I think that we have 3 or 4 armamentarium very important. The toxins, of course, fillers, but as increasing a lot the threads lift are real threads that can give support the soft tissue of the face. But as we know, there is the skin, there is the fat compartment, but the muscle. There is a machine that now can stimulate the muscle and can give another lifting effect. For this, we must recognize that it's not only one procedure. It's the combination between all the procedures, fillers, toxins, energy devices. We have other energy like HIFU only to give another lifting effect, especially for the skin and the upper part. For this, if we mix layer by layer, all the best machine, all the best treatment, we can have not like surgeries, but very similar, especially if we treat the patient in prevention.
That's excellent. So I am all for combined treatments. Thank you so much for joining once more, and I look forward to welcome you in other episodes.
Thank you.
So that was our take on the green options, the so-called less invasive or non-invasive interventions available to us to try and reverse the aging signs and bring us closer to our potential finest design.
License to make beautiful. This episode was about the green options in facial aesthetics. These options are plenty, and we are very grateful to the scientists and the engineers who made them happen. It is only by further understanding of a human anatomy and physiology. Take example, total facial rejuvenation. It was only possible to do that through an invasive approach, through facelift, which was described over 100 years ago now. Then, with our understanding of the facial musculature, we now are able to introduce very pleasing changes and reversals of the aging process through injectables and energy-based devices. However, even injectables are associated with discomfort and pain. Therefore, we have now needleless devices and approaches to facial aesthetics that can address the surface, the volume, and the laxity with little or no intervention at all. This tool, as you have seen during the episode, utilizes the skin's inherent channels that enable us to deliver large molecules up to the botulinum toxin molecule without the need to use any needles. And in the next episode, we will discuss the technological advances in a little bit more details, focusing on surface, volume, and laxity, and addressing them non-surgically with the amber option that will have a little bit of risk, a little bit of downtime. Until then, from the team and myself, goodbye.